Alright, Yu-Gi-Oh players, we got a bunch, and I mean a bunch of newer cards to catch up with, because if I get behind on some effects, man, it takes a long time to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh sometimes, so we're not going to get behind. Anyways, we got some newer cards. These are coming out in Supreme Darkness, and a lot of reveals in, I believe, Rage of the Abyss. Anyways, coming out in Supreme Darkness, we got, this is a Sue ship. This actually does have an effect, even though it's like a normal, right? Or yeah, it does actually have a pendulum effect. So it's 1600 attack, and its defense is 0, and its pendulum scale is 8. And obviously it only has a pendulum effect. It says you can only use the pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. So you can target one card in your pendulum zone, toss a coin, and if the result is heads, special summon that card. Or if the result is tails, destroy it, and if you do, you lose life points equal to its pendulum scale times 300. Wow. That is pretty insane, is it not? Like, I mean, yeah, it's a 50-50, but there's so many pendulum cards that have some crazy effects, but I don't know if they'll have, like, that special clause of, like, it can only be special summoned that way. But that has enormous potential, but obviously enormous RNG as well, because it's 50-50. Alright, next up, we got a lot of other cards. These, I guess, are coming out in Suda over here. We got some crazy alligator-looking thing. What is this thing called? Materiactor Exorept. Okay, so it's a new water dragon effect. I was surprised it's not like a reptile. So it's 15-15. It says you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is you can reveal this card in your hand and discard one other card, add a level 3 normal monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand except for the discarded card, then special summon this card in defense position. The quick effect, as a second part, is you can discard this card, target a rank 3 exceeds monster you control, it gains 1500 attack until the end of this turn. Okay. Next up, we have a Materiactor. Oh, so that's the archetype Materiactor. Zepto Wing, which is a level 3 fire dragon effect, 0/0. Says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. The first part is if you control a Materiactor card, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second part is if this card is normal or specialed or flipped face up, you can add a Materiactor card from your deck to your hand, except for Materiactor Zepto Wing. Then you can take a level 3 normal monster from your graveyard and either add to your hand or special summon it. So it seems like it's like a level 3 and a vanilla sort of attack. Next up, okay, this is probably their boss monster, or one of them. Its name is Materiactor Exoguard, which is a rank 3 water dragon seas effect monster, 2000. Its materials are 2 level 3 monsters, so it is generic. It says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. The first part is you detach material from this card just to either special summon one Materiactor monster or one Materiactor spell / trap from your hand. Oh, or add one. Okay. And then if your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you can add up to 2 cards attached to this card as material to your hand, including a Materiactor card. Then if you have a normal monster in your graveyard, you can return 1 card on the field to the hand. So you can maybe bounce back 1. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then we have Materiactor Meltdown, which is a continuous spell that says you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is during the main phase, you can activate the top 6 cards of your deck. You can add 1 activated Materiactor card from your to your hand. Also place the rest of the on the top of the deck in any order. Then you get to add 1 card attached to your rank 3 exceeds material monster as material to your hand. Second part is if your exceeds monster effect is activated, you can attach the top card of your deck to one of your Materiactor monsters as material. So you could add 1 that's on material. You could cycle through cards. I mean, this does a lot. It does have to add 1 Materiactor, so maybe you can splash this in other archetypes. Next up, we have the Materiactor Critical, which is a counter trap card that says you can only use a card with this card's name once per turn. So when a spell, trap, or effect monster is activated, you can add 1 attached to your Materiactor sees monster as material to your hand. If you do, negate the activation, then apply this effect based on the added card's type. So if it's a monster, you're going to place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. If it's a spell, all Materiactor sees monsters you currently control gain 1000 attack. Trap, you can set the added card. Okay, pretty interesting archetype. This looks like it's almost got kind of a newer mechanic. All right, next up we got some extra cards. These are free agents that got revealed in Suda. So next up we have the Dark Sea Serpent Dragon. So this is the artwork on it. It's a level 10 Water Sea Serpent effect, 31 defense, 21 attack. It says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is if you have 3 or more level 10 monsters on your field, graveyard, and or banishment, you can special summon this card from him. So maybe you could use, what is that, like is that some sort of, as a message in a bottle, like, or as a Galaxy Queen? There's like some other cards that you can like convert all the levels. And then if this card is special summon, you can just send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. So it gains 500 attack. Then if the sent card was a monster, you get to do 1,000 damage to your opponent. Otherwise, you send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Okay. I mean, that has some potential, but the problem is the second effect is only like a once per turn. So if that didn't have that effect, if you can get multiples of these out, eventually maybe you can burn your opponent. I mean, 1,000 damage is still pretty good, and then it gains another 500 attack. Stats aren't too bad on it. And considering if you have 3 level 10 monsters, you can go for Gustav Max and then maybe burn your opponent. So maybe that's what they want you to do with this. But let's see what else they have. So they have Template Skipper. So it's a level 1 Dark Cyberse effect monster, 0/0. You can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is, you special summon this card from your hand to a Zone A Cyberse Link monster points to. Second part is, during your main phase, you can banish 1 Cyberse monster from your hand or graveyard, and if you do, when you link summon this turn, you can treat this card as link material with the same name as the banished monster. Okay, cool. And then we have the Twins of the Eclipse, which is going to be a level 4 light warrior. So it's 25 attack, 12 defense, requires 2 level 4, so it's generic. It says for this card succeed summon, you can treat rank 4 monsters you control as level 4 monsters for material. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So maybe something just kind of lost all its material. It's good for that. You detach 1 material from this card make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase of this turn. Second part is, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 2 other rank 4 or lower exceeds monsters in your graveyard, special summon 1 of them. If you attach the other to it as material. So 2 other rank 4s, maybe start dumping some certain things, and then you can just special summon and then have another one as material. And then if there's any other effect where, like, if this card is sent to the graveyard or detached or something, you might be able to get some other bonuses. Pretty interesting effect over there. Again, it's like just one of those cards where if you have something that lingers on the board, it has no more materials. I mean, it just, you can treat rank 4 monsters as level 4, so you just slap more on top of it. Obviously, you still have to have another rank 4, which that I think would be a little bit more difficult. More likely, it's going to be like your rank 4 that has no materials, and then you get another like level 4. That's my guess. More cards in Suda, which is the Supreme Darkness over here. So we have 2 new cards. These almost look like they're from like straight up like an anime over here. So we have the it's Fiendsmith's Tremande, which is a level 9 Light Fiend Fusion effect monster. Obviously, it's the fusion. It's got 3,000 and then 3,600 for defense. And its materials are 1 Fiendsmith Fusion and 1 Fusion or Link monster. So it says you can only use the first or third effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part is, if this card is fusion summoned, you can discard 1 card, summon 1 Light Fiend monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. Second part says it's unaffected by non-Fiendsmith card effects while equipped with a Fiendsmith equip spell. Third part is, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you target 1 other Fiendsmith card in your graveyard or banishment and add it to your hand. And then we have the monster, which is the Fiendsmith's Kyrie, which is a normal trap. Obviously, it's the trap card on the right side. And then it says that you can only use the second effect of its card's name once per turn. So the first part is, this turn, your Light Fiend monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, any battle damage you take is halved. Second part is, you can banish this card from your graveyard to fusion summon 1 Fiendsmith Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as material. Also, you can also use monsters in your spell and trap zone, equipped with the Fiendsmith monsters as equip spells. Okay, so I haven't really seen a lot of decks, actually, because I haven't been keeping super up to date with the meta as far as the newer ban list. But are Fiendsmiths still good? I remember like the last time I believe I covered these was in like the Magical Musketeers, and it was pretty OP in that, because you can have like the Beatrice and you make so your opponent literally can't play and then you just win. But that combo, as far as I'm aware of, does not work anymore. But is Fiendsmiths a good enough archetype on its own? I'm kind of curious. Let me know down below. But anyways, that's gonna wrap things up. We got a lot more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards to go ahead and check out, but I don't want to make a video that's like 45 minutes long, so we'll kind of cut it up in separate ones over here. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on it. If you're new, subscribe to the bell so you don't miss out when we cover more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.